Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the quarantine film series. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. This is our first show of the new year. That's very exciting. So we're going to continue with the tradition we started and go strong into the new year. So the quarantine series we're continuing. It's really a feature on very important people, creative people of all types, musicians, filmmakers, authors. These are the people that create the stories, the books, the music that challenge, provoke, and entertain us throughout the year. I think it's really important to support the creative community during this difficult time of pandemic. There is light at the end of the tunnel with these vaccines, but it's still going to be a difficult few months. And so if you can support the people in your community, the local filmmakers, local film festivals, local bookshop, whatever we can do to help the creative community, certainly a must. So if you want to learn who will be on the show, you know what to do. Just subscribe to one of my social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, just where we are. So you can be in the loop and realize who's on. And then you can study up and, think of questions. So you can ask the hard-hitting questions to our guests and let us know what's on your mind. Drop a comment, no matter if you're watching this now live or on the rebroadcast. Let us know what questions you have, what queries you have. And also let us know where you are tuning in from. We have an international edition of the show today. Our guest is in Mexico City, and I'm in ATL. Proud to be an ATLian these days. And so let us know where you're watching in. Drop a comment, city, state, country, area code. It's very exciting to know all the international guests who are watching. All right, now for the best part of the show, we get to meet the terrific artists, and yo practico mi español. No, I won't do that to you. So he is a terrific hyphenated individual who's an award-winning producer, director, camera operator, and still photographer. His first full-length documentary, which we'll talk about, is Juan. I'm going to ask him more about it, so we'll get to that. And we're going to talk about some of his upcoming projects. He's very prolific, has a few features coming out that he's worked on. Please welcome to the show the maestro himself, Adrian Geyer. Welcome.
Hi, Kabir. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, of course. Well, it's good to see you. First, I want to ask you, Adrian, how are you doing during this pandemic, and how has it affected some of your projects?
Well, the pandemic is, of course, is something horrible, but at the same time, it was like like a lonely time where I started working in projects who were in pause or in standby, and so we start trying to finish it. And so we, for example, I have some films that were in post-production, and post-production can be done in-house. So we start working on the projects, and now we have some films to show in this new year, this 2021. And it changed my life a little bit. So I take also the decisions to change the country. So I was living in Miami, and now I moved to Mexico because the opportunities and also life changed a lot in this time, and I saw a different window here, and I moved with my family to Mexico. And the projects, I start also to develop a lot of projects in this time. So it's in some way we're very, very good for if you see it from that point of view. And because now I'm going to premiere some films, but also I am going to shoot, if I am lucky, some films too. So at the end, make me to focus very, very good in some new projects, old projects, and also new ideas. Also, I start a post-production company. So yeah, I start to do new things and see, because at the end, and this time I was like trying to see how can be the next year and the other year, and maybe this will come back. And so I try to see how I can no fix or my life, but to see how can be my life a little bit more, in how I say that in English, but
You can say it in Spanish, that's fine. We have a multi.
I am trying to remember that word, equilibrio. So in balance, like to have a balance, because when you're a freelancer, it's very hard to keep going if something like this happens. And of course, if you are in a big company and you get fired of too, but thinking in the future, we have to find a new way or more ways to survive.
Right. Adrian, I do want to ask you just about your day-to-day life. Do you have, because a lot of people who watch the show want to know how creative people like you spend your day-to-day. Do you wake up at the same time? Is there a cup of coffee? Is there a walk involved? What's the ritual like every day for you?
Well, one of the ideas to change of country was also to find a space where I have an open space in my own house. So open and private place. So I moved to an apartment, but it was with a small rooftop. There I start to build stuff, wood stuff. I built a little house for my daughter. So I start to with my free time trying to go away from my cell phone, because I spend too much time in the computer, in Zoom calls, in everything, and also in my cell phone for these last 8 months. So I decided to have like a free time without technology, and doing like hand stuff, hand work, and this is like a new part of my life. And with timing and wake up and stuff, it depends. So normally I wake up very early, and I like to that early time to or read a script, or to edit, or those kind of things, because it's strange because we are alone at home, but I think we are working more than before,
Yeah.
and we are talking to more people than before. We are having more meetings than before. So it's like the workflow and the life flow change a lot. So
Constant change. It's a constant change. You're absolutely right. And thanks for sharing that. I do want to ask you about some of your projects. Let's talk about Juan. And what is the project about? It seems fascinating. I love the poster that was designed. Tell us about this project.
well, this project it's about an artist. An artist who used to live in the mountains. He died 25 years ago, but it's an artist who were discovered by my father, my mother, and a group of friends in the middle of the mountains in Venezuela. His name is Juan Felix Sanchez. He was like a very very important. Well, he is a very very important artist from my country. I come from Venezuela, and for the new generation, he starts to disappear. So when he died, the people stopped talking about him. I take like the task to research and see why this is happening. And also it was very important for me, because I was not only like trying to preserve the legacy of a country, so the artistic legacy of the country, of my country, but also the legacy of my father and my mother. So they were like very concerned about what were happening with the new generation and all the new artists, and with the old artists, and I decide to see why this kind of things happen, and I kind of rediscovered this artist for myself, because these artists wasn't so important for me at the beginning, but with the time and with the research and with my point of view, because it's a different point of view. It's not the same point of view that my father had or that my mother had. And yeah, well, I started a project, transmedia project, 6 years ago. The name of the project is Proyecto JFS, so GFS project. I did audiovisual showroom for as a first step. The second step were fiction short, and it was the name is Tisure. It won a lot of prizes around the world. And the third piece were Juan, this featured documentary talking about my experience as a filmmaker, fan, and artist, and it were like how affect me all this research and all this rediscover of the past of my family, of my father and mother, and also in the doc I try to show this this important artist and what he did.
I appreciate sharing that. What was the most difficult thing in making this film? What was the greatest challenge for you that you had to overcome?
Well, so biggest challenge, I don't want to say difficult, because I think everything has some kind of some things are difficult, but in this project were more like challenging. One is that place. So to arrive to that place, you have to go with horses. You have to ride 8 hours in the middle of the mountains without contact with the world. So you don't have cell phones, you don't have electricity, you have nothing. So we went there for 6 days, the first travel, and it's very, very cold, because it's like 12,000 feet in the mountain. The second travel we had also snow. It's a kind of adventure travel, and shooting going to one place to another in horses is a kind of strange, but it's also cool, because it's very different. So to shoot this dog were a very not difficult but challenging shooting, and also because we didn't have we only have like a small generator of electricity where we can charge only like 2 or 3 batteries every day. That place doesn't have too much oxygen, because it's really high, and I think that makes you also more creative. I don't know, something happens in your head that you have a lot of energy in some way, and you can do a lot of things. Maybe also because you are so disconnected. So in some way, in the shooting, that was one of the most, to say, difficult things. And in the post production, because we were when I started the post production, we were in a very difficult time in Venezuela. That was 2017. So we have like 5 months of demonstration, and it was like in the middle of the editing of this project. So one day I went to the demonstration with all the it was kind of a civil war inside the country. We were all with armor and everything. So it was like, and the next day I was editing this. So it was really complex for the timing, and also because I didn't have a script to shot this story. I did like a huge research, and then I started like writing in the edition. So to write in the edition always is it, it it's very complex. So because you can go to too much places, and you have to know that the material that you have is have to be enough to tell the story.
Yeah, that I appreciate you sharing that. Where can people see the film in the U.S. Right now?
Sorry,
Where can
excuse
people
me.
watch the film? Where can people see the film? And let's get your website up there too. While we're asking you, after we have some audience members asking where can we see the film Juan right now?
Well, right now in the U.S., I don't have a platform. I will be in some platforms in the next 3 months. So I will be in 3 different platforms. But I will talk about it in Instagram and in the website where they can see the project, and then where they can see the movie. And I can't talk too much where it will be, but when we did it, when we had when we will be in those platforms, I will say for sure to everyone. So, but please try to follow us in Instagram, and you will know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing that. In the few minutes we have left, Adrian, please tell us about your forthcoming projects. I know you have a few forthcoming projects. Share with us whatever you want to talk about. Maybe Jezebel.
Oh well, Jezabel. Yeah, Jezabel. We shot Jezabel 2 years ago. I work not only as a director, I work a lot as producer. So Jezabel is it's a thriller, psychological thriller. We are going to premiere this year that movie. We are waiting, of course, the right film festival to start the road, and it will be a very interesting moment because it talks a lot about our country in a thriller. So some people say that it's a political thriller. So I am pretty sure it will give a lot to talk, that movie. The director is Hernan Javes. It's his third film, so he's a very good director from Venezuela. Also, I'm going to have a horror film this year, and Plaza Catedral, also a Panamanian film, and La Candidata, also a doc. The four premieres I am one of the producers, and in Jezebel I'm like the main producer, so it's like my baby for this year.
Awesome. So you have a very productive and prolific year lined up. Very exciting. You're making the most of this quarantine time. Let me ask you before we let you go, Adrian, who are some of your inspirations? I know it's a big, broad question, but who are some of your inspirations as a filmmaker? Maybe growing up, people you admired, or anyone, maybe a mentor that maybe we don't know about.
Well, yeah, maybe you don't know about, and that I'm pretty sure. Well, I think it can be my mother and my father, so at the end, because my mother, she's writer, and my father, yeah, and she doesn't write books, but she works with art, and my father is photographer. So I started working and having like a camera in my life always. So I start remember my first remember is a camera there, not a video camera. It's they are my father is still photographer, but and then I can say one of my mentors is Hernan Javes, is that the director of Jezabel. So I started in the film industry 13 years ago, working as still photographer in his first movie. And since that moment, I started working with him, and I started like learning. And he was, yeah, at the end, like my mentor in this where my films are very different. It's not the same style, but yeah, at the end it was like that. So talking about big filmmakers, yeah, of course I have a lot of ideas and famous people I admire, but talking the real life and where we're behind, we're more, yeah, like person who are next to me and close people more than famous people that I admire and I see every day.
Got it. Well, look, I want to wish you all the best for what you have planned ahead. And also, there's your website. So, everyone, please go check out Adrian's websites. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Kabir. So, yeah, have a great year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, of course, and best wishes for the year ahead. So, that's our show, everyone. Please keep us subscribed here to learn who will be on the show next, and continue best wishes for the days and weeks ahead. Wishing you all good safety, good health, and peace of mind. Bye, everyone.